Well, the budget battle continues in the Senate, and our next guest is suggesting going through the bill line by line to find more ways to cut spending. Joining us right now is Republican Senator from Florida, Rick Scott. Senator Scott, thank you for joining us this morning. A lot of folks wondering what becomes of this bill at this point. You are one of the holdouts in the Republican senators who are saying, look, what the House gave us is not fiscally conservative enough for your taste. What's your solution? What are you planning on doing at this point?
Well, first off, Becky, I believe we're going to get a bill. I'm very optimistic we're going to get a bill. I'm completely supportive of the Trump agenda. Let's make sure we don't have this massive tax increase that Democrats want. Let's make sure we secure the border. Let's make sure we have a military that can defend the freedoms of the country, especially against aggressive, what's become an enemy, communist China. So then let's make sure let's get some fiscal sanity here. We're not going to get inflation down. We're not going to get interest rates down unless we get spending at the level of what we bring in. The public has told us what they're going to give us in revenues. We have to live within our means. You do. Businesses do. I balanced a budget when I was governor of Florida, even though it had not been balanced in 20 years. I paid off the third estate debt because we went line by line. We got rid of fraud, waste, and abuse, and things that might be nice to have, but we can't afford it. As an example, we have a Medicaid program that Democrat governors have completely abused to provide, with federal tax dollars, free health care to illegal immigrants. Where instead of focused on the program it's supposed to focus on. Poor kids. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, my mom's face when she found out my little brother had a bone disease, and she couldn't even find a doctor to take care of him. That could be happening. That was before Medicaid. That could be happening again because these blue state governors have abused the system. They want to put their efforts into adults that don't have chronic illnesses that just don't want to work. And illegal immigrants. We've got to fix these programs and spend the money to take care of the people we care about.
Hey, Senator, a couple of things. There are a lot of red states that are using Medicaid the same way. In fact, some of your colleagues in the Senate don't want to see any of those cuts that are coming through to Medicaid. And I understand what you're talking about, going through line by line and trying to get rid of fraud and waste. But this is a bill that's been put together with a very delicate balancing act by the House, where the majority is so slight that they're having some serious issues trying to get this through. The Senate leader has talked about how, Mike Johnson says, you change this substantially, and he's going to have a heck of a time trying to get it back through the House. And so then you would see, if the Senate passes something that the House then can't come to agreement on, you would see the potential for a big tax hike going through on all Americans. But how do you shore up those two schools of thought? I understand what you want to do, but what's possible here and what you think can actually get done?
I think every Republican, well, first off, every Republican I know of in the House and Senate wants to get a bill done. They know we represent our states. I represent Florida, okay? I'm not going to allow Florida to get taken advantage of by blue state governors. I'm just not going to do it. And I respect what everybody wants to get done. We're all going to come together. I support what the president wants to get done. We've got to do this. We can't allow the Democrats to do what they want, is have this big tax increase. So we're going to get this done, but we're all going to have to come together and represent our states and do the best job we can.
You won't vote for salt. You won't vote for a bill that has additional salt, higher limits on salt deductions.
I'm not going to support the wasteful spending of blue state governors. I was a governor. I watched my budget. Take New York. I think their budget's double what Florida is, and we have twice the number. They have a budget twice as our size. We have 4 million more people. Take just Medicaid. We have 4 million more people than New York, and they get $20 billion more out of the federal government for Medicaid. In California, it gets 3 times what we get, and they only have like 65%
Republican
more in
Senator
population.
Josh Hawley doesn't want to see
wrong.
those cuts to Medicare either, or Medicaid.
Look, I want to make sure the money is spent on poor kids that need health care, okay, and people with chronic illness. That's what we've got. That's what we've got to focus on. What we want to do. We want to get people healthy. We want to get people back to work. We want to get people, make sure they can afford their own health care and then have safety nets that work. We have to balance the budget. We will not get inflation down. We'll not get interest rates down if we don't balance the budget. We have to do this. We have no choice.
Senator, we're watching something play out in L.A. L.A. doesn't need any more fires, obviously. And I'm hearing Gavin Newsom and the mayor out there now saying that the National Guard is inflaming tensions because the looters are having a lot of trouble because now the National Guard's there. So now that's making the looters mad because it's much more difficult to loot if the National Guard's are right. How do the Democrats find these 80-20 issues to be in the 20% on? Does the president have the right to protect federal buildings in Los Angeles?
And federal agents. I mean, so let's think about it. We have ICE agents getting hurt. All right, the federal government has the right to defend the federal agents. They have a right to defend federal buildings. I don't get why does California want to allow people to be violent? I mean, don't they care about the citizens of L.A., California?
I don't know.
I mean, we have so many people moving out of these places because of safety.
It's so. What do you think? The argument is that it hasn't, that there's state sovereign. Now the Democrats suddenly are worried about or sovereignty and state rights. But why would Gavin Newsom not call in someone to help make it safer in Los Angeles for the agents and to stop this doesn't look peaceful to me. I don't know where that comes from.
It's not peaceful. We look at the video. I don't understand why the mayor and the governor don't care about the safety of their citizens. We've watched this when they were okay. The Democrats have all been okay with criminals and terrorists and narco traffickers coming across our border. That was okay. Like, who are you representing? I want my family to be safe. I love my friends and my family. I want them to be safe. I don't want these people in my neighborhood. And that's what's going on. The Democrats are allowing this to happen. Why? It doesn't make any sense. My mom would be furious with me if I did these things.
Senator, let me go back just to the bill and the Medicaid cuts. I mean, it's not just blue state Democrats that are in favor of this. Here are a list of the senators, Republican senators, who are very opposed to some of these cuts. Tommy Tuberville in Alabama, Josh Hawley in Missouri, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. All of them have said that they have some serious concerns about that. So I don't know how you get this passed, A, in the Senate, and then B, reconciled with the House if you stand pat on some of those things. Where are you willing to negotiate?
Well, I want to spend, and look, I talk to my Republican colleagues, and here's my experience with them. They want to balance the budget. They know we have to balance the budget. They know we can't get interest rates down, inflation under control. So I believe we're all going to come together to make sure we start spending the federal dollars the way they should be spent for the vulnerable, for poor kids like my little brother that can't get health care, that couldn't get health care, to make sure people with chronic illness. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to spend our dollars better. I'm very optimistic we're going to get a deal done.